What is up, bros? Me, Josh, here, and today's video is going to be all about the Montana, the Tier 10 USN battleship. This thing has been, for a long time, one of my favorite Tier 10s. It was my first Tier 10 in closed beta, it was my first Tier 10 in open beta, and I've been a Montana fan forever. And ever since the Conqueror, the Montana has kind of been backseated a little bit. Everything's been about the Conqueror being this anti-battleship HE flinging monster, low detection, high fire rate, high fire chance, high HE alpha damage, and really I think Montana has kind of lost its spot. Now Tier 10 is full of really, really good battleships. Honestly, people ask me like what's the best, and it all depends on how you play. The Yamato is insane. It's probably the only one that consistently gets still the LOL pens compared to the other battleships. The Kurfürst with its ability to just be very, very aggressive, tank through almost everything, and just be a secondary monster is also very, very good and very, very fun. Of course, the Conqueror is the Conqueror. There's not much else to really say about it. And the Montana for me, though, is, for me, I think the Montana is, in my opinion, the best battleship. I enjoy this battleship a lot. I have for a long time. And I feel like it has some really insanely good carry potential. And what I mean by that, more than the Conqueror, is the Montana can tank a bit more. And 12 guns going out, which is the same as the Conqueror and the GK. The Yamato is the one that doesn't have 12 shells going out, and assuming you're using the smaller calibers for the GK. And I've been feeling recently that the Montana is just a great carrying ship right now for high tiers. At least I've been seeing high tier battleships have been a little weak in the past little bit, at least on North American server. At least that's what it seems like. And it seems like every time it's like, man, if only we had a good battleship. But I just feel like Montana has that ability, especially with its stealth being one of the lowest at tier 10s, have an ability to just have that punching power and just hit stuff very, very hard and just be very, very effective. I think it's a great, I mean, on a relatively, I guess he was pretty broadside, but there's 30k in the first couple salvos on the Missouri. That's still pretty far away. But this ship is just, in my opinion, it's a blast to play. It's one of my favorite ships, and I think it's insane. So I kind of wonder, and as the clan battle season continues to move on, and I see more and more Montana's kind of like the main battleship I've seen throughout. Now I know we've seen a couple Yamatos, a couple Conquerors, and a GK every once in a while. I know there's a couple of top teams on North America running the Yamato still, and I think there's a couple that are still running the Conqueror. But I feel like the Montana out of everything is really kind of been, and look at that dispersion. Okay, I love this ship, but sometimes they can get me a little bit there. And but I feel like the Montana is probably the most used battleship out of all of them so far, and I just think because it has that punching power and that tanking power a little bit with its armor and stuff like that. Now the Conqueror is amazing, right? Like if we're going Conqueror versus, if we're going battleship versus battleship, I think it's hard to take anything other than the Conqueror, because even Wargaming has said the Conqueror is basically this anti-battleship battleship. But against everything else, I like the Montana, I really do. I mean, Conqueror's not going to lose, but I think overall, with its ability to be one high AA, very accurate at long range, it's a very, very good tank and everything in between. I'm loving the actual Montana in this game is pretty amazing. So already though, up to 46,000 damage, and right now this is kind of weird. Normally this map is most of the time this team is the team pushes A-cap, and then it's kind of this lull. This is one of the few times I've really ever seen this map go like this, where there's kind of a balanced push kind of everywhere, and we're going against a pretty good clan. We've been playing against these guys basically all night, and we're kind of bouncing back and forth, and so I didn't really know where to strike, because I didn't want to let that, that Baltimore just kind of feed off of me and just farm a ton of damage off me. So I didn't want to feed into that, so let this fire burn out and kind of help these guys, because letting a Zhao kind of farm you, we're gonna lose a Yugumo over here. So I was thinking maybe if I support this cap over here, we'd be able to do it. But yeah, back to kind of the Montana. I just feel like it's this overall. I'm kind of interested in what you guys think. So yeah, now I've been seeing a lot more. I'm seeing kind of a you know, quote unquote, the Conqueror got a bit of a nerf, if you will, recently with its repair party taking a longer, now having a longer cooldown. So we knocked out the Frederick, which is good. And then we're gonna knock out the Samagi, so we're gonna be able to get a bit more aggressive on this. Um, but recently, the Conqueror got a quote-unquote nerf. It does make it more of a mortal ship, but it's still insanely strong if you use it correctly. And but I've been seeing less and less of them. You know, it was very, very popular for a while, and you'd see if for a while 2, 3 in a game, and now I don't see them as much in higher tiers. I'll see them every once in a while, but not as much. But I've been seeing a ton of Montanas, just a ton of Montanas recently, and I wonder if people are kind of getting on this, you know, this Montana bandwagon, because it is a good ship, and I really, really enjoy this ship. A whole lot. But out of all the tier 10 battleships, I think Montana, I think I had one game where there was 6 or 7 of them. It was insane. When I haven't really seen, I've seen 1 or 2 Conquerors maybe, but there's games we'll see for a long time I won't see any Conquerors. So it's kind of interesting to see the hype and the kind of fall, I guess, I don't know, of a ship. But the Conqueror has definitely seen its ups and downs so far. So right now, there's no more reason for me to feed into a Zao and a Chappie. They'll just burn me down. So we're going to start putting some pressure on B-Cap. Since we have a Mosca here, we have a Destroyer here, and we're starting to lose cap. So we need to do this. And I'm not too worried about what's on A-Cap, honestly. I think there's a GK over there. But I'm really just worried about the guys off to my left, which are on C-Cap. And I'm worried about the guys on B-Cap. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think. If you guys have tier 10 battleships, what is your favorite to play and kind of why? I mean, you know, nothing's going to beat close range. I mean, it's the same situation as like if you were playing a Tirpitz, right? Nothing's going to beat a Tirpitz close range. It just isn't because of the secondaries. But like the G, so okay, you see the GK. GK is going to be very, very hard to beat. Maybe Yamato, maybe, but like the shells going out from the GK are going to be pretty brutal. But Montana, I think overall is man, can you beat it? I don't know. And but we are up on kills right now. But anyways, I haven't been playing the Yamato that much. I don't know if you guys have. For me, it's just kind of lost its, you know, I don't know. It's lost it a little bit for me. It's still insanely strong, especially with the Yamamoto captain. It's so cool to see that. But if I'm gonna be playing a tier 10, I'm gonna be playing the Montana, and this game kind of shows why. I don't know if I would have been able to do as much damage as I did this game with the Montana, and I wish I would have had the shot for that. Probably would have killed the Missouri, but I still think we get a nice little chunk off of this curve first. Yeah, so 13k. I guess it's still kind of worth it. But mainly right now, we just need to kind of push and be aggressive on this. So we're still full life, almost 100k, only by penetration though. No, there's no citadels, so nothing else. Just 51 penetration hits. That's it. That's all we got so far. So but yeah, in clan battles as well, there just doesn't seem to be a variety. And with this updates, rental ships, Montana being one of them, has definitely been a lot more, and as well as Hindenburg's coming out a lot more. But yeah, let me know in the comments below too what you guys' first tier 10 or first tier 10 was when you guys came into closed beta, because for me it was the Montana. I remember when I was first going down the USN line, it was the Lolorado, which if you guys played in closed beta, you guys remember that. And it was awful, and that actually made me, I got to North Carolina, and that made me hate battleships so much that I gotta push this toggle out of the way. Made me hate battleships so much that I didn't want to play them anymore, so it kind of ruined them for me. And but then I finally got to the Montana, finally got to the Iowa, and it's hard to kind of beat those, honestly. So yeah, I just think the Montana is like this perfect mix of battleship, and it just has that big and I run reload mod. We talked about that in chat. I mean, I think the Montana basically shoots lasers. I mean, you do get the eventual or the random salvos of just not really too much, or kind of mediocre. Down goes our. I think he actually our Shima died, but down go. I think his game crashed. But for the for the dispersion, I think the Montana is very, very accurate, and we talked about for upgrades on this ship, and I'll show you guys what I run with this ship back when I get into port, because I think that's pretty damn accurate right there. Some people are running, apparently it's been tested that the accuracy is much better if you run, of course, a dispersion mount, which it is. But I just don't think it's needed. And when you play a ship, you want to run upgrades that are going to buff whatever the ship is really good at. And as a battleship like this, and the Yamato and the Conqueror, I think you want to get as many shells out as possible, because you can only get a set amount, no matter what. When you start a game, there's only a set amount of shells you can get out from the start of the game. There just is. It's just quick math. But with the Monty, I feel like you just want to get out as many shells as possible, and you're dropping down the reload by, like, I think 4 seconds or something like that. You get it down to like 25 seconds, which is pretty damn good for a battleship, especially at this caliber and at this tier. And so I think it's definitely worth it to take the reload over the down goes the Chappie. No big deal. And I think it's just totally worth it taking over. Now the accuracy at long range, I mean, I don't know. I feel like with the Monty, I hit accurately enough, and I know I'm giving this guy a little bit more of a broadside than I should, but I just want to get the back guns, kind of get them out of the game as fast as possible, so I can deal with this problem child that is the Zao. But for me, I just think it's all about reload at high tier battleships. I really do, and I feel like if you take the accuracy, I just don't think you'll get more out of it than you would the reload mod. So you can see as I'm turning a bit. All right. So far this game, 76 pens, 1 plane shot down, not a CV, so we couldn't really show that off. 2 kills so far, and 2 citadels. Of course, we just dunked on the Chapayev, and 183k so far. So boom, down goes the Balti, and now we have to deal with this problem child. 191k damage. Now I probably could have, maybe the Yamato, I don't know. I probably could have done that with most of the battleships with how this game kind of went, but I feel like the Montana just consistently is able to do this. I feel like out of all the battleships, it really is. And if you've ever played against the Zao, you know they're gonna just. This guy was a very typical Zao. He played it very coy and very passive, and of course you can't citadel the damn things, it seems like. But he was very just a typical Zao player, very max range. I don't think he ever left CCAP, but he probably farmed a ton of damage with his Yamamoto captain, which is amazing for him. It's just so very typical Zao. It was just kind of funny. But yeah, they're down. He goes, takes another hit, and we're at 196k. We need about one. We need this hit right here to dump down a 200k game. And will he give me the love? It's pretty damn accurate. Just a couple overpens. That's all I need. And boom, down he goes. Actually, got 3 full pens on that angle. So that is it. 201,000 damage. It's always good to hit that 200k damage. 4 kills, 2 citadels, high caliber, Confederate. Can't beat that. Montana is just a beast, and I'm loving this ship. I've been playing the hell out of it recently, and it's been very, very effective, especially at high tiers. Almost 100 hits, which would have been crazy. I feel like you just get a ton of hits when it comes to this ship. Yamato's like quantity or quality over quantity, I guess. I think the Montana is just this quantity over quality. I mean, you still get good hits, but really the Yamato is insane with its big hits, but I feel like it's just consistent hits out of the Montana. Then you would see that. So let's dive over to the port, guys, and I'll show you guys my captain and what loadout I run. With the big bad Montana, this is the modules I run on this ship. Of course, always if you can, the repair, especially high tiers with how much AT is going out, grabbing the extra repair party. You could skip on grabbing the extra catapult plane, because if you're running Superintendent, you won't use 7 of these. I don't even think it's... Yeah, it's mathematically possible to use them all in the game, but I don't think you will. You just don't use them as much as... You're not going to use 7 of them. But reload, or the repair, and the heal, if you can afford those, definitely run those. For modules, this is what I'm running. Main armament mod 1. It's all about the main guns. You want to keep those things alive as much as possible. AA range here. You could get some extra range. This is going to help. Apparently this helps with some extra accuracy. I don't know if it's this is what I was talking about. I was getting confused with this slot, but running this apparently makes your guns more accurate. It's been tested. I don't know. I think I would rather take this just in case. Honestly, over this, I feel like the Montana is accurate enough in the long run, and I just don't think it's really needed. Now, this is kind of what I was talking about too. Artillery plot room 2. People are running this 11%. I just don't think it's worth it. I think you'll get more damage out of this than a little bit more accurate. I just don't think it's quite worth it. Maybe someone could prove me the math. But for me, just playing this, I would rather get more salvos out. I think it was like for every 7th salvo with the Montana, you're going to get basically a free one if you take this. It's 7th or 8th. So I just think that extra salvo could potentially be a dev strike, could potentially be a dead destroyer, could potentially be that, or just even when you're brawling, could potentially be just a quicker reload to beat something, especially if you're going against like another Montana that's running this. So I take main battery mod 3. I just think it's very, very nice. Now this you could take. I just like I don't know. For me, it's just AA. Apparently, there's some math to prove this. But for me, I guess I'm just old fashioned or something like that. I'm gonna take that. Stop the fire as much as possible. So the risk of fire, risk of flooding, dropping that. So of course, damage control system mod 1, rudder shift, and concealment. So I run a full concealment captain on this. So detectability from the sea, 13.4, very low, the second lowest I think of all the battleships. Yeah, of all the battleships right now. And for my captain, a pretty standard battleship build, a survivability build, whatever you kind of want to call it. Extra catapult plane to help you spot those torps. You could easily grab preventive maintenance if you see yourself losing modules all the time, but I like the extra plane. Helps you avoid those long-range torps. High alert and survivability, basic survivability, to get those extra fires, repair faster, and get rid of those fires. Concealment expert is the first one I grab at 10. Advanced firing training is also very, very good to get that extra range, not only on secondaries, which aren't used as much on the Montana, but the AA is nice. And then, of course, vigilance is nice as well. You could switch up vigilance for the extra heal, but basically with superintendent, you're just going to get one more heal. So is it worth it? So I've been running this vigilance. It's been kind of nice, especially since you are a big ship. I do enjoy this. I know in Clan Wars people are running fire prevention. I just don't think it's worth it really. When it comes to random battles, so I don't really run it. Clan battles is something different if you want to get a specific captain for that. But yeah, this is the build I run. This is what I run, and I just want to kind of make this video showing off a really good game we had, the Montana, as well as I wonder if the Montana is actually the king of tier 10 battleships right now. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think is the best tier 10 battleship. I mean, okay, let's look at the big picture when I ask that question. Overall, now I know 1v1, it's the Conqueror is going to win every time because the Conqueror, as Wargaming has said, is an anti-battleship battleship. But honestly, I wonder if the Montana is the king of tier 10 BBs right now. I feel like it's very, very strong. Clan battles are showing it be very, very strong, and I think it just has a more carry ability than even, like, let's say the Conqueror. The Conqueror is insane. It's going to farm damage like no other. It's hard to keep up with the Conqueror farming damage, but going against everything else, I think I would want the Montana. So I'm interested to see what you guys think. I'm loving this ship. I'm playing the hell out of it, playing it more than my Conqueror especially, and yeah, interested to see what you guys think. So that is it for me, guys. Like I said, let me know in the comments below what you guys think is the best tier 10 and all the questions I asked throughout the video. That is it for me. Remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.